Hey everybody, it's me, your dad. I have here the entire Uncanny X-Force line from Marvel Legends. You see, every one of these figures comes with a separate piece, and when you put them all together, you get an extra figure. This Wolverine comes with nothing. He doesn't come with an extra piece, and that means that I bought this figure for no reason.
It's a man, yeah, it's fire escape toys. Fire escape toys. Fire escape toys.
Wolverine is a character who has been around for a long time and has had so many costumes, so many different looks. You could make a million action figures of Wolverine, and they have. It's a pretty classic Marvel Legends box. Cool illustration of Wolverine on the side there. It says Marvel Legends Series Wolverine. On the other side, we can see it also says Wolverine, and we've got a portrait of him there as well. On the back, it says Marvel Legends Series Wolverine. Wolverine unites with the group of extreme X-Men to battle telepathic threats and defend their team of mutant heroes. It's got pictures of the rest of the X-Men in this line, and I will be opening and reviewing all of these figures, as well as Nemesis at the end. A million warnings, labels, and designs, and attentions, and in every language under the sun. 0 to 3 onions. Isn't that what Ashen says? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get this Wolverine out onto a tray. And here he is. When I was a kid, there was a Toy Biz figure named Secret Agent Wolverine. He was dressed all in black, he had pouches, he also had goggles and stuff. I think he was based more on kind of like the Weapon X Maverick type stuff, but that's what this figure reminds me of. His face is scary. Wow, look at that. And his head's actually kind of loose. It's a little It's a little wobbly. But it is a good sculpt, and boy does he look angry. The claws are the blade type claws, the flat type. There's a lot of back and forth about do we like the kind of tube-shaped Wolverine toy claws, or do we like the flat blades? I'm becoming more partial to the blades as time goes on.
I'm on my way to the grocery store. These walk lights don't last as long as they used to. Oh.
You know, he's got double jointed pinless knees. His ankles are on swivels. He's wearing a black outfit with a gold belt. The gold's a nice touch. He comes with some other hands. None of the rest of the hands have claws.
And you better stick around, Bob, because there's more reviews coming.
Gambit was the 90s Attitude Edition to the X-Men, although he might have actually arrived in like the late 80s, I don't remember. He ran where Longshot walked, or pick your metaphor. We're looking at the Age of Apocalypse Gambit, who has been thrown into this universe somehow. Gambit hung out with the Externals back in the Age of Apocalypse. I've opened a couple of Age of Apocalypse figures. I was the right age for the Age of Apocalypse when it came out, and I remember thinking it was so cool. Let's look at the box. You know, you get your typical window on the front. We see Gambit in the front. His face looks a little iffy. He just looks a little upset. On this side, we've got a window and a really messed up looking portrait of it. It looks like maybe he got punched in the jaw, or he's got a big wad of chew in there. And on the other side, we've got another picture of Gambit. It's a great costume, but again, I'm going to say the face looks a little messed. It just looks a little messed up. On the back, it says, Gambit is sent on a mission to help correct the timeline and prevent the immortal villain Apocalypse from conquering Earth. Yeah, okay, but won't that, like, this kills Gambit? And that's it. That's the box. You got warnings and labels. Beyond that, it's the same old thing. Let's pop him open and see what he looks like. Well, he definitely looks like he is on an adventure, especially with those pouches. I mean, how do you adventure without a pouch? I think he looks cool. Honestly, as a figure, he's pretty simplistic. It's a simple base on the figure, pretty one solid color coat on all of this. Oop, he's got a leg band that slipped down. Oh, I guess that's removable if you want it to be, so there's that. His knee pads look kind of cool. The cape is that pretty typical Marvel Legends stiff plastic that I don't love, but they kept it kind of loose on his neck, so it hasn't limited his mobility too terribly much. I love that they gave Gambit a card slash object throwing hand here. I'm disappointed they didn't give us anything to put in it. His only accessory besides the cape is the bow. The bow looks cool, and actually the head sculpt looks cool out of the box too. He looks great. But it's a shame that they didn't give us anything to put in his hand. I think in the Age of Apocalypse he throws knives. That would have been cool to have some of those little like knives or whatever. Other than that, he looks really fun. He's quite posable. Ooh, that's some real flexibility in the legs. You're getting a real Gambit look there. The belt is not attached. It's loose a little bit so it can float up and down. That's actually really great for positioning. In terms of extra hands, he comes with fists. And of course, he wouldn't be a Build-A-Fig if he didn't come with a huge leg. Wow! Look at how monstrous that... This figure's going to be gigantic. I'm surprisingly impressed. Oh, look, he's got little rings on his booties. Something about the design, I don't know if it's the like brown leather on the outside or something, but actually almost gives it a little bit of a Star Wars, almost spacefarer look. What do you say we throw out another figure? Just stop it. Fabian Cortez is an original founding member of Magneto's Acolytes and a great example of why you really need a strong background check. It's everyone's favorite psychotic religious despot if we can't get our hands on Exodus after all. Why do we have Fabian Cortez but not Exodus? On the front it says Fabian Cortez. We've got him in the window. A cool portrait of Fabian Cortez on the side here. On the other side we've got the same portrait of him, just reversed. And on the back it's the same portrait. Fabian Cortez, once a founder of the Acolytes, betrays Magneto and makes himself an enemy of both his former leader and the X-Men. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Don't hire crazy. The dude's a nut job. Let's see how cool he looks out of the box. And here is Mr. Fabian Cortez. He is reminding me again of the Toy Biz line. It's the big, chunky boots. This figure reminds me of the Toy Biz action figure of the X-Men 2099 character, Mean Streak, who also had big, chunky boots, which is funny for a character that is like a speedster, that he had big boots. His cape is big and chunky. It's weighty. It gets in the way a little bit. His knees are double jointed and pinless. His boots are chunky, as I mentioned before. Head sculpt is cool. I'm getting a little bit of like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger here a little bit, and that's kind of strange. Oh, I dig the ponytail. I do wish it was at least on like a pivot or something. There's a lot of weight on this part of it. It feels like a very small attachment point. Like that could very easily break off. So, be careful. He comes with fire punching fists. It's a shame that like his hand has to be down for the flames to be going up. But overall, I like him. I think he looks cool. He's just a lot brawnier out of the box than I expected. So the neck is on a hinge that goes up and down and then is also on a ball swivel. It's just, for some reason, I feel like I'm not used to it. Maybe they're doing something new or different. Keep watching. There's more figures coming. Marvel's Husk comes from the Generation X era of the X-Men, which was kind of like a body horror sort of team. Characters had problems like gaping holes in their chests, or perhaps they had too much skin. Or in Paige Guthrie's case here, she could turn into any substance she wanted, but she had to rip off her face in order to do it. And look, they gave us a little bit of peeled off skin face, which is gross. On the back, it says, Paige Guthrie, a mutant with the ability to morph her skin into any form, becomes a member of the X-Men known as Husk. Look, she's turning her skin into like an electricity form or something. But look, she's still got to rip her face off. They didn't put that part in here about how she has to rip her face off. Other than that, it's the same as the other boxes. This one does have the torso of our friend Nemesis. Let's check her out. Here she is. She looks cute. I mean, she was drawn to look cute. They definitely gave her the mid-90s popular girl blank slate Barbie look. The belt is loose, which of course means it's a little floaty, but that's fine. They actually did a pretty good job with the paint here on like the zipper. It does actually look like a zipper, and the little X-Men kind of zipper, what is that called? Zipper pole? Whatever. Again, we can see that the face here is really, really, really gorgeous. The hair is long, and that does limit movement, but the hair is not super like thick sculpted, so it's got a little bit of flexibility. It turns a little bit. She still has to look down to turn her head. She's also rocking some shoulder pads. It was more 80s than 90s. Another thing that was totally happening in comic books in the like late 90s going into the 2000s. Big gloves and big boots. Why are there knobs on it? This doesn't make any sense. Skip. Her other head is scary. What do you mean scary? It's not scary. I just ripped my face off. Speaking of, let's try your face ripping off accessory. Does it like line up with her face? Ugh. Okay, there's like a curve part. It's really not supposed to be as specific as you're trying to make it, sir. They gave us a handy thumb. Whoa! Look, has a little thumb hole. Okay, let's see if we can get that. What do you mean I'm being unreasonable? It came off my face! It's kind of silly as a prop. Like, it's cool that they gave it to you, right? Because you're going to want something to indicate that, like, no, this is Husk. Remember, she rips her face off? But as an accessory, it's honestly kind of silly. The head sculpt is cool, though. Boy, is she mad. The hair is a lot thicker, and there is no movement on this head. You get one position, you are looking at it. She comes with 2 replacement hands. She's got fists, and she can rip her face off with both her left and right hand. What kind of stick? Whoa! Oh, hey, look at this. I was talking about those gauntlets. I thought I broke it, but no, actually, her big old gauntlets come off. So if you don't like the... Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's strange because now it makes you think that these bottoms are going to be removable, and then when you go to touch them, they're loose, like they slide around. But, am I going to pull her feet? Oh, can I? Are those on pegs? No, I'm scared to do it. Fortune favors the bold. No, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Maybe they do come out of there. I'm going to have to watch somebody who is braver than me's YouTube videos. At least the gauntlets come off. That's cool, right? That's it for Husk. Marrow might be one of the first kind of characters I remember as a kid being like a new character. Or maybe Marrow was one of the first characters that like I didn't know about until I kind of checked back in on X-Men. But either way, I remember when I first heard about Marrow thinking that her powers were a little,
You're not even trying anymore, are you?
something about the idea that not only would she grow these random bones, but that they would specifically grow into like blades that she can rip out of her body and use. Let's just say it seemed very implausible to late teenage me. Somehow I found the idea of holding objects in your hand and then turning them into grenades with your mind, or ripping off your own face to reveal the metal underneath, to be more believable than growing swords out of your back and then using them for combat. On the back, it says, once a member of the Morlocks, a community of outcasted mutants, Marrow has the ability to manipulate bone growth. Okay, that makes it sound like she can do it to other people, okay? And if that's the case, totally different power set and way scarier. We've got a portrait on the side. It is the same portrait as on the back, and I'm gonna guess that it's the same portrait there. Yeah, we've looked at this box already with all the other figures, so let's look at the figure itself. Here she is. Out of the box, she looks pretty cool. The paint job on the uniform is pretty simple. You know, it's just blue and then green. But they did a pretty good job with it. Joints are double jointed and pinless. We kind of expect from Hasbro at this point that like elbow joints are going to be kind of stiff and you might have to heat them up or whatever. But what I didn't expect, I guess what I wasn't expecting was for the bones to be so floppy and bendy. You feel like if one part of a character who grows bones out of her body is going to be like stiff and hard, it's going to be the bones. So I'm allowed to be flexible. The cuffs do come off the arms in case you only want her to have, you know, blue hands, but not cuffs. Skip, 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 skip. She comes with bone swords. Stop in the name of my ability to manipulate your bones. She's a pretty figure. The bones are floppy, but I guess floppy is better than so stiff that they break. That's Marrow. What do you think? Leave some comments. If you're not familiar with the character of Cyclops from the X-Men, that's fine. Nobody's judging you. I guess I am a little curious as to why you are watching this video. But again, everybody's into their own thing. That's right, folks. We have the leader of the X-Men here, Scott Summers himself. I really like that it looks like they did one red visor and one visor that kind of has a hole in it because they included some fun blast effects. He also is costumed to look great with the rest of your X Factor lineup, as long as you're not too angry about Jean Grey's boots. On the back, it says, a leader of the X-Men, Cyclops becomes a founder of a new team called X Factor after being reunited with Jean Grey. Great picture of Cyclops on the side. On the back, we get another illustration of Cyclops, different from the one on the side, which is really nice. And over here, we get a reprint of the one on the back. Oh, he's been bashed up. His nose has been bloodied. That's the box. We've seen it. Let's check out Cyclops. Hey, looking good, Slim. You know, it's a very simple figure. When they're wearing a top to bottom skin tight uniform, you're just kind of making generic man and then painting him. He looks good. He looks like Cyclops in the uniform, which I guess means Cyclops looks like generic man. Pretty good sculpt on the face. He looks very serious. He looks like the kind of person who is going to say in every panel, stop joking around, insert name here. We've got work to do. Cyclops comes with two extra hands. One of them is a reaching hand, and one of them is, you know, the pointing kind of hand that they always give Cyclops. I love this effect piece. Nice work, Hasbro. This is the kind of thing I would expect to come in like a Mafex. Let's put on his other head. This is one with a visor hole. Zark, 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 zark. It's got a little notch in it right here, and I'm assuming that that is going to plug. Yeah, there's a spot that you can see right here where it plugs in. I'll just do it. This ground will pay. I can't turn it up. Really, these blast effects are it. They're the reason for the season. They're the reason for owning this particular Cyclops. Don't forget to leave a comment! We almost never get new Nightcrawler figures. Nightcrawler hasn't worn very many different costumes. He's pretty much been one look for most of his X-Men-dom. He's my favorite character, so anytime they put him on the rack in any costume, I'm gonna pick him up. On the back, it says, the teleporting mutant Nightcrawler joins forces with the X-Force team in order to hunt down his enemies. On the side, we get a very brooding picture of Dark Nightcrawler. Is a Dark Nightcrawler like a day runner, Let's open him up. Looking great. great. You know, I mean, what do I say? I always like Nightcrawler. He looks cool. So, of course, I think this one looks cool. So that's the good news. The bad news is that this appears to be almost completely, or is completely, a reuse. You can even see his original V in the paint underneath there. He has the same tail. He has all the same joints in all of the same places. He even has the same sword. It still looks good. The face sculpt looks really cool. I like that they got the red tattoo on his head. And we get a nice angry Nightcrawler too, which is good. You know, we don't have enough, you know, fully enraged Nightcrawlers. He comes with 3 extra hands. I don't like it when they give him an odd number of extra hands, but they gave him 2 punchy fists and they give him 1 hand to hold his sword in. I wish I had more to say about him because I was really excited to open this figure, but I mentioned before that we don't get a lot of Nightcrawlers because there isn't a lot of variation in the character. And honestly, in a lot of ways, this figure kind of reinforces that, right? He's in a different costume. We gave him a different face, but it's the exact same figure. Cool if you need a Nightcrawler, especially if you need a wicked Nightcrawler, but he's definitely not going to replace your classic Nightcrawler. I thought you said I was your favorite. Finally, in our Build-A-Figure review, we come to the Build-A-Figure, the marvel, the legend, the abomination to all that is good in the world himself, Nemesis. This is a cool figure and a gigantic figure. This guy was born out of the 90s when his name was Holocaust. And at some point somebody went, really? We named him that? Let's try something a little less offensive. Let's try something more generally evil. Something like, Nemesis. One of my favorite places so far, honestly, for posability is this waist joint. Because he has a gun for a hand, and specifically, his gun is his right hand, so I hope he's left-handed. Otherwise, boy, what a pain. You want a lot of pivot to be able to get that aim, you know, really as many places as you can get it. I feel like this figure has a similar problem to the Red Hulk figure that I recently unboxed, where he's really, really big, and in order to make a really big figure stand, they make their legs large, a little too large, and then it makes their arms, by comparison, and especially these hands, look a little tiny. Leave an angry comment if I'm wrong, but my recollection of this character who calls himself Apocalypse's son is that he was like created by Apocalypse. Like Apocalypse was like genetically engineered him or like made him or something. So first of all, I hope he made him left-handed, otherwise making him a dominant right hand and then giving him a gun for a hand is really kind of cruel. But the other thing too is that I thought that he was made to be like an ultimate killing machine. Survival of the fittest, and if you're not fit, you must be destroyed. Only the strong survive. So he's got to be like the strongest, most advanced one. Why does he only have 3 fingers? Why is the most genetically advanced creature that Apocalypse can come up with missing fingers? Is there an efficiency to that I'm not aware of? I do think it's really cool that the skull is posable. The mouth even opens. This is a really, really awesome figure, and it kind of sucks that you had to buy all of these other figures to make him. Some of the other figures behind him are really great. Some of them. Tell me again in the comments about how my name is woke. I dare you.